From a way to get a Dark Blade for free, to glitches that give you admin powers, here are 28 Blox fruit secrets you didn't know existed. I bet you didn't know that pirate ships are actually more expensive than marine ships. Well, if you meet an ex-mariner to bargain for a ship instead of a regular dealer, you get the Brigade ship and the Grand Brigade ship for half the price. That's definitely a steal if you ask me. Many players know that Blox Fruits has a lot of hidden messages, but I bet you didn't know there's a hidden message in the Awakening room. If you walk into the room towards the pillar and peek just behind them, you'll see a message that says life form. I'm sure one of the devs put this small detail in for some weird reason. What do you think it means? Speaking of small details, did you know that small players are harder to hit than regular sized players? I know this seems pretty obvious, but it's actually a bigger deal than you might think, because some Reddit players tested this and found out that you can actually last much longer in PvPs with a small avatar versus a normal one. You've probably used a katana before in Blox Fruits, but I bet you didn't know how many swords there are in the entire game. If you add them all up, there are exactly 39 swords in the entire game. I don't get why they didn't just round up to 40 or something, but luckily I made a tutorial on how to get every single one. If you haven't met the Yoshi NPC, then you probably don't know that there's a Tomio ring accessory that would boost your fruit damage by a whopping 10%, and it costs around 500k belly. To find him, just go to the Skylands and look for this castle right here, and right outside the castle you'll find him. Did you know there's a way to get a Dark Blade for free? It's definitely not easy, but come on now, we're talking about a Dark Blade here. And the way you can do this is by getting a Brazil fruit, which is definitely not easy to come by. Alternatively, you can just ask an admin or any really rich friends you might have, although this probably won't work. Everyone knows you can always buy belly from the shop, but did you know that the amount of belly you can buy is limited by what sea you're currently in? When you're in the first sea, the highest amount of belly you can buy is 500k, but in the second sea this goes up to 1.5 million, and in the third sea you can buy as much as 3 million belly. Safe to say you should never buy belly when you're in the first sea. You've probably tried out the Buddha fruit before, and even seen that cool animation with the Buddha circle around it. But did you know that the markings on the outer circle are the same as the ones you see in the Colosseum? If you've been around long enough, you've probably heard about Wenlock Toad, because he's one of the coolest NPCs in the game. But did you know that he was removed from the game? Well, not exactly, but he was changed. Because when you go to the raid room, you see an NPC that's supposed to help you awaken your fruits. But did you know that that NPC used to be Wenlock Toad himself? Take a look at the writing above here. Well, maybe the Toad finally became a prince or something. I don't really remember how that story goes. Did you know there are two fruits that never go out of stock in Blox Fruits? The Spin Fruit and Rocket Fruit never seem to go out of stock. Now, this isn't because they have infinite supply, it's just because nobody wants them. And if you have any experience in the game whatsoever, these become pretty much useless. But I bet you didn't know that a Sloop is faster than the Pirate Brigade. If you check the horsepower for the Sloop and that of Pirate Brigade, you'll find out that the Pirate Brigade has 2000 HP, while the Sloop has 2500 HP. And even when you race the two physically, the Sloop will always beat the Pirate Brigade. But guess what? The Sloop only costs $300, while the Pirate Brigade is $1,000. You probably know about Hassan, because he's literally the most popular NPC in the entire game. But it's much less likely that you've met the Mad Scientist. He's an NPC that lives in the Skylands and is hidden because he doesn't live on the island, but instead on this rock close by. This NPC can sell you the electric fighting style for 500k belly, which is a pretty sweet deal if you ask me. But here's an even better deal, a glitch that can stop you from teleporting, and it'll even crash the game if you're using a fighting move that keeps you in one spot. And then let's say another player tries to teleport with you, you're actually going to break the game. Now that's crazy. However, it's not as crazy as this next glitch, because you can pull this one off once you complete a raid and get to the raid room. This glitch makes you totally invincible, and no hits whatsoever will get to you when this is activated. And here's how you can do it. When you get to this wall, flash step twice and then flash step right over the sea. Then you can sky hop to safety. After this, any hits will cause 0 damage. Now this is crazy. The light fruit is a super fast fruit, but did you know that your speed with light depends on your health? That's right, when your HP is maxed out, you're going to be traveling at the speed of light, but when your health bar is halfway full, you'll only be traveling at half that speed. So make sure you actually have enough health when using this fruit next time. Imagine using light fruit and someone using smoke just breezes past you. That would definitely ruin my day. So stay healthy, eat an apple or something, I don't know. Everyone knows you need some mastery to actually fly with fruits. But do you know what fruit needs the most mastery to fly with? If you guess sand or tornado, you'd be entirely wrong. Those don't need high mastery stats at all to use. But if you guess rocket fruit, then you're definitely on the right track, because you need at least 75 mastery to be able to fly while carrying the rocket fruit. I don't know why this just sounds wrong in my head, because it's like the cheapest fruit. So why do I need so much mastery before I can fly with it? If you're crazy about Kidssun, then you might know this one. There's a hidden character that pops up when you transform into Kidssun, and all you have to do is position the camera right behind the strap seat, and your mind will be completely blown. Crazy, right? Who would have thought you'd find a popular video game character there? Yeah, that's actually the red imposter hiding behind Kitsun's seat. Have you ever tried using light fruit in a race before? If you have, then you know that it's pretty fast. However, I bet you didn't know that there's another less popular fruit that's even faster. And of course, I'm not talking about Kidssun. It's the Springfruit. Yeah, it doesn't seem like it, but check this out. Speaking of fruits, did you know that smoke fruit used to be one of the weakest fruits in the game? But now it's completely overpowered. It became totally OP after a 2022 update gave it a few new perks. Now you can literally deal a huge amount of damage by just holding the self-destruct option for a long time. And the longer you hold it, the more damage you deal. Now that's what I call power. I bet you've never skated on ice in Blox fruits before. But did you know that you actually can do this? If you have Ice Fruit activated, you can just walk on water. And then all you need to do is activate the Frostwalker ability to stand on water without sinking. And then when you really want to have fun, switch over to ice skating and watch your avatar move at extremely high speeds. I don't know, this seems a little too familiar to me. If you're tired of getting beat up so much on Blox fruits, there's a glitch you can use to make yourself totally invincible. When you use the Awaken Phoenix move, and then activate Smoke Fruit, you will automatically become invisible to everyone in the game. We all know Rubber Fruit doesn't take damage from electric attacks, but is that really true? Well, not really, because if you were using Pole V2, you can deal damage to others even if they have Rubber Fruit activated. Now here's a glitch you definitely didn't know about. You can spin literally any weapon or fruit you want without actually using them. How do you do it? Well, when using the pole, make sure to unequip it just before you're about to perform the lightning ring. And after that, every other fruit or weapon you activate is going to have this cool animation where you just spin it around. Back in the day, the sky jump skill we all used to love was infinite, meaning if you had enough energy, you could sky jump all the way from the sea to outer space without ever stopping. Unfortunately, we're now stuck with just 11 jumps. How am I gonna get to the moon? Everyone loves Halloween, mostly because of the candy. But did you know there's a fruit that gets more expensive during Halloween? If you guess Ghost Fruit, then you're absolutely right. This fruit gives you really cool abilities, like having another life after you die. But that's not all, because this fruit used to be found in dark chests a lot more often back in the day, and it was relatively easy to get. But now you'll barely find ghost fruits in there, and you're probably just better off buying one. Just make sure you're not buying it during Halloween season. Did you know you can walk on water with magma fruit? No, I don't mean lava. Most players know they can use magma fruit and walk on lava, but this actually works to walk on water as well. There you have it, 25 Blox fruit secrets you definitely didn't know existed. Make sure to subscribe and watch this video on the screen, or don't. I can't tell you what to do.